making the assumption that Trump is not going to take the U.S. to a trade war with Mexico. And if that's the backdrop, and I don't think he will, then there's tremendous value in Mexican assets.
Do you buy the Mexican, do you buy, for example, just a fund that could be Mexico-centric?
Yeah, I would do that because I wouldn't want to get into sort of picking individual names, but I do like Mexican sovereign bonds, and we like the currency. So I think the umbrella of Mexican assets looks very attractive right now, however you want to sort of play that.
Well, I look at all that's going on, and the Fed didn't even move today. What starts to really drive the markets? And if it isn't just the wall, for example, what else out of the Trump administration starts to, everybody's saying tax cuts, and we're waiting to see if that'll even happen this year.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Fed didn't move because they're in the same situation as the rest of us. They're waiting to see what fiscal policy is ultimately going to look like, and when is the timing of that? When is it going to actually be sort of a positive for the economy? I just think the uncertainty is really just around trade. If we get clarity on that, I think we're going to be back into kind of this sort of risk-on environment.
Risk-on environment. We shall see. Well, we certainly had it right after the election. Jack McIntyre, he's got Mexico as one of his biggest positions in his fund right now. Fascinating stuff. Markets ending a choppy session higher. The Dow gaining 26, but the NASDAQ jumping 27. There's the closing bell. David and Melissa are teeing it up here for the big Facebook earnings.
Thank you.
All right, fighting for gains in the final moments of trading. The Dow getting a brief bump this afternoon on news that the Fed unanimously voted to keep interest rates unchanged, but then cooling off to end the day up around 25 points. The S&P, the NASDAQ closing higher as well. I'm Melissa Francis.
Nice to see all green. I'm David Asman. Glad you could join us. This is After the Bell. We've got more in the market coming up. But first, here's what else we have for you this hour. Division and disruption on Capitol Hill as Democrats continue to fight against key cabinet picks, boycotting votes on 3 of the president's choices today. The extraordinary measures Senate Republicans have now taken to move ahead without the Dems. But one more cabinet member can officially get to work. Former Exxon CEO Rex Tillerson overcoming objections over his ties with Russia. He was just confirmed, and he got the approval of some Democrats as our new Secretary of State. And National Security Advisor Michael Flynn saying, quote, "We are officially putting Iran on notice," adding the Obama administration failed to respond adequately to the Iranian threat. But what does putting Iran on notice actually mean? He is briefing reporters at this moment on what new actions may be taken. We have an all-star roster of guests to take us through a very big